r/AskReddit by Redmond Dtes. Teachers of Reddit, what's the funniest excuse a student gave for not doing homework? That they had high-fived a cactus over the weekend while drunk and were no longer able to write. Turns out they did high-five a cactus and ended up in the emergency room to have several cactus spines removed from their hand. They ended up needing stitches. This was a high school student. They did their homework the night before, but walking to school that morning they saw a horrible car accident and had to use their homework paper as a tourniquet so the victim wouldn't bleed out. I had a teacher who returned a photocopied version of a student's test because he was grading while gardening and badly cut himself and bled all over the blue book with his essay in it. He also lost another student's essay because he was grading while his wife was driving and it got caught in a gust and flew out the window. Luckily the student was able to print another copy. Mr. Yaron was wild, everyone's favorite history teacher, probably because he was a little insane. I'm sorry I didn't give you my paper on time. I was shot. Her hand was wrapped up in bandages the size of a puppy and she had 2 fingers missing. She told the truth. The kicker is, I got this same excuse a year later from another student who had also been shot in the hand. Judging from the obvious bullet hole in his palm, he was not lying either. Edit. Holy cow, this gained some traction. Okay, below are answers to some of the most popular comments and questions. Where? North Philadelphia, United States. When? Late 1990s. Student number 1 story, as I remember it. Student number 1 and family let someone move into their place who turned out to be unstable. Student number 1 and unstable got into an argument at home one day. Unstable went into her bedroom, came back with a pistol, walked up to student number 1 and pointed it at her. Student number 1 told me that she was so scared, she reflexively grabbed the gun by the end of the barrel to move it away, and Unstable fired. 2 of student number 1's fingers were blown off. Unstable ran away and was later arrested. Student number 2's story, easier to remember. He was riding his bike in the streets of North Philly and caught a stray bullet. Yes, I absolutely gave them both full credit. I once got a doctor's note from a student and I looked up the doctor. It was a veterinarian. Bow wow on that one. Had to take his dog in after it ate all of his homework. Not a teacher. But I was a farm kid and we had an orphaned lamb living in the house because it needed to be bottle fed and kept warm, so we had it in a cordoned off part of the living room. I had left my business homework out and my lamb ate half the page. I had to bring this half-eaten page to my super stern, never laughed or smiled business teacher and sheepishly go, "I'm sorry my lamb ate my homework." I also presented the page as proof. He stared. He then said, if it was any other student, he wouldn't have believed them. Not a teacher, but back in high school a kid brought in a note from his mum saying he couldn't do homework because he was constipated. Teacher looked at him dead serious and asked, "What, is your brain in your backside?" Whole class lost it. One day in 1982, I told my teacher I couldn't turn in my report because our computer died. She didn't believe me. I showed her the floppy disk with my report, but she didn't buy it. She didn't believe I used a computer and didn't believe I couldn't use one of the computers in the typing room to print it out. I tried to explain that an Apple II was completely incompatible with an HP machine, so the disk wouldn't even read, but she didn't want to hear it. I had to have my parents come down and explain computers to Mrs. Tyler. Once she accepted that I wasn't lying, she grudgingly gave me an extension, along with a lecture about following instructions. I'm still not sure what the lecture had to do with anything. In the end I went to the computer lab at the university, Dad was a professor, and printed a copy of my report. When I handed it in, obviously printed on a dot matrix printer attached to a computer, Mrs. Tyler gave me the filthiest look. This thread reminds me of how dumb I was as a kid. I always liked school and always did my work. But my friends did not, and I wanted to be cool, so I never turned it in. 6th or 7th grade. Had a math class with Mrs. Young. For a semester I wasn't turning in my work despite doing it. Progress reports came, my parents got called, and my mom was so effing confused. She was adamant I was doing the work. She goes to reach into my backpack, pulls out my binder, a full packet of completed work that wasn't turned in. She raged. In front of the teacher. I knew I was going to die if she was mad in public. And when it came out that I was not turning it in because I wanted to be like this kid, Chris Pacheco, super dumbass, she let me know that I'd be getting my ass whooped when I got home. Mrs. Young was gracious enough to accept the assignment with marks for being late. That year she got really involved with who I was hanging out with. She made it clear if she heard I was even hanging out with that kid she would break my legs. Never talked to that kid again. Middle school was crazy. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.